Hey, let me help you out, miss. Hey, I can clean this off for you, too.
So do you, have a girlfriend or anything?
Sorry, I'm not looking for anything right now. Hey, let me help you out, dog.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Sunset Rants. I'm your host, Biddy. It's Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, so you already know Sunset Rants is ready to rant. I got my co-host here, Navasa. What's up? Got a double header today.
Biddy. You know what day it is? Come on, you know what day it is? What day is it?
Roma Sport Sunset Rants Day. October 1st.
Close.
Government
It's
shutdown
hump
day.
day!
Oh, hump day. Yeah, it is. We're getting over that hump just gloriously, aren't we? Well, at least we try to. It was a little rough this morning. But yeah, it is hump day and we're making it halfway through. But of course you can follow the show, the real Roma _AK. You can follow me on X if you like, Elizabeth213A, and Navasa at Lord Navasa. Navasa is spelled right on the screen there for you. You can also go to riseofmiddleamerica.com where you can see all our shows. You can join the Discord to hang out with us after the show. Use that Q&R link at the top of the screen there. Yeah, let's get to it because we got a lot to go over.
Don't forget the Roma merch. Don't forget the Roma merch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
You can find all that on the website.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what do we got up first
right
on this glorious hump day?
Well, we have a doomer, boomer, kind of Schumer shutdown of the federal government, courtesy of the Democrats and Chuck Schumer, trying to placate their illegal immigrant voter base because, of course, they would. From ABC News. Both Republican and Democrat proposals that would have funded the government past Tuesday failed in the Senate during the 11th hour, effectively shutting down the government at 12:01 a.m. on Hump Day Wednesday. The federal government ran out of money after a Democratic-backed spending bill that would have extended healthcare subsidies under the Affordable Care Act and reversed cuts to Medicaid failed, as well as the GOP-backed stopgap funding measure that would have funded the government for 7 weeks also failed. Following the two failed votes on Tuesday, White House Office of Management and Budget Director Russell Vought, you're going too far, Russell Vought told federal agencies that, quote, should now execute their plans for an orderly shutdown. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer urged Republicans to come to the negotiating table after the upper chamber failed to pass a measure to avert a government shutdown. Quote, we want to sit down and negotiate, but the Republicans can't do it in their partisan way.
Is that Schumer?
It's our way or the highway. Schumer said during a news conference following Senate votes on Tuesday. It's not a good Schumer impression, but it gets the point across.
Yeah.
The Senate is expected to vote again on Wednesday, likely on the same two measures that failed Tuesday. President Donald Trump and a bipartisan group of congressional leaders met at the White House on Monday afternoon to attempt to avoid the looming shutdown. I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing, Vice President J.D. Vance said following that meeting. And so on and so forth. ABC being ABC partisan hacks as they are. So, long story short, military personnel, they will not be paid, but they'll still be forced to go to work, alongside numerous other departments and workers that are deemed
non-essential. Yeah.
Necessary. Thank you. That they're deemed essential personnel. They will continue to work, but they will not be paid. They'll be what's called furloughed. Versus others, like park services and like national parks and their rangers, they'll just be, quote, on vacation.
Oh, but fun fact, you guys,
but
all the Congress members are going to keep getting their paycheck. Maybe, I don't even know if we can do something about that, because just like term limits and other things that we try to get passed, they get to vote on that. So, congressional pay is mandated by the Constitution. So I wonder if that were to be reversed, how quickly they would stop playing these politics with the American people. But again, it's a pipe dream because they get to vote on it.
It's only a pipe dream because you dream of it while you get whacked by the pipe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
No,
I understand actually what the Democratic Party is doing. First of all, we've talked about this a million times. Their base is shrinking by the minute. They really don't have a leg to stand on. They're trying to figure out who their supporters are. And it seems right now that they're hanging on the Democratic Socialist Party of America, that they're kind of like being beholden to the radical leftists, the one, like the AOCs and people like that are pushing for illegal immigrants to get funding and for kind of more socialist programs and things like that. So it seems like, and then apparently Chuck Schumer is, this is what I've been hearing, is that he's worried that he's going to lose his seat to AOC. So he's probably scared out of his mind that he needs to keep pushing down on it. But in the midst of all of this, people are going to be suffering, waiting for them to come to an agreement.
And this is where I'm not going to call this a Trump trap card, if you will, but this is a completely forced error onto Chuck Schumer. It's not unforced. That's first and foremost. Chuck Schumer did not screw up, but he played his card in not the best way, and Trump is taking advantage of it through exactly what you just said. Chuck Schumer is an old school Democrat through and through, but his base, they have gone ahead and become perverted and maligned by besmirching the name Democrat into now becoming associated with socialist. And now the old school Democrats are forced to either go moderate Republican or full-blown socialist Democrat. And most people have enough head on their shoulders, if you will, to understand that what they are voting for is not what they agree with if they're voting Democrat. So Schumer has guessed incorrectly based on the environment that he is in to say, I have to go further socialist because that's what I believe the party base is. And they're watching the voter registration rolls dwindle by the minute.
And apparently the Democrats...
Wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Well, the Democrats apparently looked at some kind of polling that suggests that the Democratic voters want the Democrats in the Senate to continue to push back. But that's not a guarantee. You know, they're really taking a gamble on this idea. And, you know, I know that there was something that President Trump said in a press conference where he said, you know, a lot of people from the federal government are going to be laid off, not even furloughed, but laid off. And he said a lot of them will be Democrats. And, you know, of course, reporters are trying to, you know, say, oh, are you going to be targeting Democrats? But, they, you know, maybe he's thinking in his head, like, there are a lot of Democrats that work for the federal government. So you're screwing them over. And we saw what happened to the Democratic Party when they played with people's pockets and tried to say it was one thing and it wasn't the other. People know when they reach into their pocket how much money they have. They know when they look at their bank statements. They know what's going on in their life, and you can't tell them otherwise. So they're playing a really, really dangerous game right now. And at the end of the day, like, it's really screwed up because I don't want people to be out of their jobs. I don't want people to not get paid, you know, all this other kind of stuff. I mean, you know, certain programs will still be intact. At least like the Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. I think it's like the 15th or the 16th of this month where those checks need to go out again. So if this goes as far as that, you know, it'll be an issue. But as you said earlier, Navasa, that today was the military paycheck was supposed to go out. Tomorrow, it's the federal payroll goes out, or supposed to. So I hope that they say, as I said, I don't want people to lose their money or whatever, or lose their jobs. But at the same time, we cannot allow the Democrats to, you know, push us into a corner where we're going to go back to where we were and fund, you know, all these different things. Like, first of all, the Affordable Care Act. You know, there was subsidies in there that were from the COVID pandemic. And it was pushed through by Biden in an emergency to allow people that, you know, to raise the cap on the people that were making a certain amount of money to get subsidized by the government for their health insurance. So what 2025, this was back in 2020. It's 5 years later. You're going to say, like, people that make $120,000, $140,000 a year should still get subsidized by the government for healthcare? That they're pushing for more socialist programs and stronger socialist programs, and we can't allow it. Sorry.
Biddy. The Affordable Care Act was Obama, not Biden. The Affordable Care Act was 2009.
That I know, but I'm saying the subsidies that were linked with Obamacare, the cap was increased and allowed people that were making above the cap, that they would normally be above the threshold. So that is set to expire, and the Democrats, this is one thing that the Democrats are pushing to allow to extend. Yeah.
Okay.
Trust me,
that
I know Obamacare
makes more sense.
Yeah.
Obamacare, you say?
Obamacare.
But no, see, I good miss. I take a much more happy-go-lucky approach in this, because all of this, the entire system that we have, is all based on the entire concept of ill-gotten gains, also known as fuck around and find out. Every Friday here on the Rumble Nation Network. But
yeah,
but
nice
no,
plug.
In all seriousness, when you've got bureaucrats that are Bush era, Obama era hires, and they have literally written the hell that you and I have to live with every day of the week since they were put into law, why the hell should I not wish for their downfall? Yes, they are my fellow man. Yes, they are my neighbor. But at the end of my day, I have to reconcile with the fact that fuck around, find out. And I am perfectly happy with Trump, and more likely than not, Stephen Miller is one that authored it, arguing that, oh, let's reduce the EPA by half, the FBI by a third, the Department of Education by all. Because, oh, they don't have any money. Oops, guess we can't fund those Pell Grants. Oops, Guess we can't go ahead and fund FAFSA or FAFSA, excuse me. Oops.
And that's what Vice
Guess we can't
President
go
JD
ahead
Vance was
and,
saying. Like,
fund USAID.
you have to do some kind of triage. If you guys are going to push us into this corner where we can't pass this budget, we don't have money to pay for these programs, we have to make sure that the life-saving programs and other things are still running. You're gonna have to take money from one thing and put it into another until they can get this figured out. So keep playing around and keep finding out, as you said.
Hey, at the end of my day, if it means that my taxes go down from 24% down to 18% because the federal government reduced its budget by 30%, I am not going to complain.
I know. And another
we
pipe
only
dream.
have enough money for 5 FCC chairmen.
Another pipe dream that I have is that they're gonna do away with income tax, and I still am holding to that it's maybe still on the table for the future. Again, it's a pipe dream, but I keep thinking every time they try to like lower the deficit, try to figure out like how they're gonna bring costs down and all this other stuff, I'm like, hopefully we're still working towards that, where they can figure out what exactly do we need as a country, as a nation, really to function. And then once we get all the waste, fraud, abuse, all that stuff, that Doge was, going through for a while out of it, then they can look at it and say, okay, now we'll see all the tariffs, all the money that we're bringing into the country. Can it offset the, the high income tax that people across the nation, our hard workers, are paying? That would be really great. I don't know if they'd be able to eliminate it entirely, but even to bring it down substantially would be amazing. So I'm hoping for that as well. So anytime I see them trying to save some money, I'm happy about it.
By the way, since we're talking about saving all this money, you all know what that money can be used to go ahead and further advance the American culture? Having babies.
Oh,
again,
okay.
When people are bitching, griping, moaning, and groaning that babies are too expensive, we can't have them because it costs daycare costs what, $4,000 a month? Again, just throwing a number out in the air. And both parents have to work just to be able to afford it because I don't know, we've inflated our dollar, reduced its value over the past 100 years since the Federal Reserve actually took over, and yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers, we're trying to cut our budget. Excuse me, we're trying to cut our spending, raise our budgets, and by the way, have all the rebates we could want because Hungary has implemented a program where for every one child a mother bears in the world that is Hungarian, 25% of her income tax deducted.
Wow.
And after 4 kids, she will never pay income taxes again.
That's great.
For each child is 25%.
Yeah.
I want that here in America, damn it.
Right?
But
he has to breed.
Alas.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You do not wish that hell upon us. Okay?
I mean, listen, it's a cool incentive. I'm not mad at it. Why would I be upset about that?
No,
that sounds amazing.
No, I thought you said we need more children from Tay. I'm like, no.
When did I ever say Tay? I never said Tay ever.
Again, I have no idea what you just said.
But
if you want to talk about an economic wrecking havoc in the U.S. economy, let's go out to the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, God. Yeah. All right.
From
so
NBC
coming to you
News.
from NBC News. Yep. Rip currents threaten the East Coast as hurricanes Imelda and Umberto churn out to sea. As Hurricane Imelda barrels toward Bermuda as a Category 1 storm, the U.S. East Coast remains under threat for dangerous rip current conditions. Imelda is expected to strengthen to a Category 2 hurricane as it approaches the small island. The storm is currently 395 miles west-south of Bermuda and is moving east-northeast at 21 miles per hour, according to an 8 a.m. bulletin from the National Hurricane Center. Simultaneously, Hurricane Umberto Oh, my whole thing just sorry. Simultaneously, Hurricane Umberto remains a Category 1 storm as it heads out to sea. The storm passed the island on Wednesday morning, the government of Bermuda said in an update. On Tuesday, the two hurricanes were fewer than 500 miles apart, a distance that has not been seen in the satellite era, which began in 1966. When two storms have been this close together, historically, one has been a tropical storm. Neither of the storms will make landfall in the United States, but their effects will be felt across a large swath of the country. Imelda is expected to pass less than 20 miles from Bermuda, which should brace for wind gusts near 100 miles per hour, large waves, and 2 to 4 inches of rain. The worst conditions for the island are expected on Wednesday night through Thursday morning. The government of Bermuda said the storm is forecast to pass over the island around 1 a.m. Thursday. Tropical storm force winds are expected on Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m., with hurricane force winds kicking up between 9 and 10 p.m. and are expected to last up to 6 hours. Yeah, it's hurricane season, folks, but they're getting a little more wild out there, I gotta say. And a little more frequent. Or maybe I'm just paying attention more. I don't know.
Well, there's plenty of reasons why I never wanted to live on the coast of the East Coast. Mostly because I knew for a fact that hurricanes can go about 100 to 200 miles inland. And then I found out that, no, they can go about 500 miles inland. Thank you, Hurricane Helene.
Wait a minute, Iris. I had no idea that Professor Umbridge's first name was Imelda. That's crazy.
No, it's the name of the actress.
And Harry Potter. Oh, the actress. Oh, okay. I just look at her as like Umbridge. I never look up to see what her real name is. But yeah.
Rick, there's a perfectly funny explanation and acronym to turn NBC into an offensive or insulting acronym, but that would get me kicked off of YouTube real quick.
How about a wholesome one? Never been correct, even though it doesn't sound grammatical.
Never been correct, you say? You're not wrong. Look at the Rachel Maddow defense.
Oh boy. Oh, I was thinking about her the other day. I was like, wow, she really just dropped off the face of the earth.
Well, Left wants to go ahead and argue that, oh no, it was Tucker Carlson that created the news entertainment or entertainment opinion genre of news journalism. But no, Tucker Carlson borrowed the Rachel Maddow decision. And
I like that.
That's why it's called the Maddow defense, not the Carlson defense. Nothing but communism? Oh my God, it's incestuous, the Communist News Network.
Yep. Oh.
They can't stop breeding with each other. Oh God. But no.
Yeah, because the more they breed, the more money they get.
Oh God. Now we're talking Pokemon. No. No. Speaking. Okay, let's go from one natural disaster to another. Okay, because we got a double dipper.
Yeah, go ahead, babe.
Oh God. Okay, first and foremost, before I start reading this article, I'm going to call out Brian and say that the only reason why he got us this article is the fact that there's so much nice in there. For a natural disaster like an earthquake in the Philippines, there's a lot of nice there.
Okay.
From People magazine, at least 69 people were killed after a powerful 6.9 magnitude earthquake hits the Philippines. The devastating earthquake struck the region around 10 p.m. last night. At least 69 people have been killed by a 6.9 magnitude earthquake in the Philippines, according to reports. The earthquake struck the city of Cebu and the neighboring region of Laoyang in northern Samar at around 10 p.m. local time on Tuesday, September 30th, at a depth of 10 kilometers. The Philippines Office of Civil Defense announced in a post on Facebook. A reported 69 people have so far been confirmed dead, with more casualties expected. This includes 30 people in Bogo City a coastal city near the epicenter of the earthquake with a population of 90,000. ABC News and the BBC reported, citing OCD Deputy Administrator Fernando Alejandro. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, NDRRMC, initially reported that at least 147 people were injured in the earthquake, per the Chinese news agency Xinhua. The earthquake reportedly lasted around 2 to 3 hours, causing severe destruction to buildings and homes in the impacted areas. Images of the affected areas show roofs of buildings caved in, bridges collapsed, and houses reduced to rubble. Quote, my heartfelt condolences to the families who lost loved ones, and my prayers include the safety of the injured, unquote. President of the Philippines, Bongbong Marcos, said in a statement. Our secretaries are already in the affected areas to provide assistance and assess the damage from the earthquake and aftershocks. The Department of Public Works and Highways is supervising the safety of the roads and bridges, and the region's Department of Energy is working to restore the power supply, Marcos said. The Department of Social Welfare and Development is also delivering food and other reliefs for those in need. So, Biddy, are you familiar with something called the Ring of Fire? Geologically
Johnny
speaking.
Cash? Oh, no.
Okay, first off, thank you. I'm glad you went there. But no, the Ring of Fire is a series of tectonic plate intersections that all revolve around East Asia, from Japan in the north all the way down to Australia, Philippines in the east, Vietnam and China in the west. And that
they
Ring
all
of
kind
Fire
of like meet.
is dubbed. It's because of the large tectonic plates that each of the continental shelves are built on. They all intersect in that general region, and the shifts in the plates cause the earthquakes that we get today. That's why Fukushima, the tsunami that wrecked the Fukushima nuclear plant, was actually derived from I think it was the second highest magnitude earthquake Japan had ever hit. And then couple that now with a magnitude 6.9 earthquake. Like, let me look up something real quick, but I want to see what the magnitude of the
take your
earthquake
time.
For Fukushima was.
I love how you tried to gaslight me earlier and tell me you don't know anything about this kind of stuff. Just want to let you guys know that this is the kind of stuff you're supposed to tell me.
Okay, so just for reference, the earthquake in March of 2011, wrecking Fukushima, was a magnitude 7.4 earthquake.
Science with Navasa.
Brian, I hate it, but I love it.
Keep going, I love it.
So the magnitude earthquake for Fukushima was 7.4. This earthquake in the Philippines was 6.9. That 0.5 difference, again, the 0.5 difference actually means it is 50 times more powerful.
Jeez.
Because the Richter scale is based on the decibel system. So from 6.9 to 7.0 means it is 10 times more powerful. Did I say 50 times? No, I meant to say 100 times or 500 times more, excuse me, because it's 10 to the first, 10 to the second. Yeah.
Jeez. So are we gonna see some kind of I'm sure there's gonna be aftershocks and stuff, but are we gonna see some, what is it, a typhoon? I'm having like a brain freeze now. What is it like when you have like the earthquakes and stuff?
It'd be a tsunami.
Tsunami, there we go. I knew it was like a T.
Okay, it would be an
yeah.
Again, it would be an aftershock tsunami that would typically happen. However, we're noticing that more and more earthquakes in the Ring of Fire are not resulting in more tsunamis, which is actually a noticeable trend that actually it actually kind of starts messing with how we understand earthquakes and how the Earth's movement actually affects us.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like,
Which is
because if it's like these plates are going like this and just kind of like banging into each other, if there is that movement still going on, would it kind of fan any side effect or aftershock or tsunami or whatever outward towards other areas? Just kind of like when you're in
depends
the
on which.
yeah.
Well, much like I believe it is the second law of physics, Newton's second law, where an object that's in motion will stay in motion.
Stay in motion.
It depends on where. It depends on the direction that the earthquake is derived from, because we know that the earthquakes come from shelves interacting. So if the point of contact hits and it's pushing in a direction, the earthquake will be more will have more momentum going in that direction, but it will still radiate out.
Right.
Because it's still it's still affected by gravity, and the effects of the tsunami being pushed out, or not tsunami, the earthquake being pushed out by the friction of the plates. So it's still radial. That's the word I was looking for. It's a radial force. It's still going to go out in all directions, but the magnitude will be highest in the direction that the plates are moving towards. Damn, I need a freaking whiteboard behind me.
Funkmaster just gave us a $20 super chat. Thank you, Funk. And what did he say here? Because I'm like, he said babies are expensive and they can't even do simple tasks like dig a proper sprinkler line trench for the first 6 or 7 years. But so after the 6th or 7th birthday, it's trench digging time. Got it. Thank you, Funk.
Hold on. Trench. No, they can dig up a trench line at 6.
Why? How?
Because it's 1 year for each letter.
Oh, okay.
You spell trench, Trench, and that's how old they have to. That's how old they should be in order to do the task.
Right.
Trust me, I was digging in a sandbox at 5 and then digging in the dirt mound at 6. And I used to be able to dig a full mile at 6 years old, even though it took me a week.
Wow, so he was right on point with that age. That's crazy.
Yes. Oh, yes. Although, to be fair, my dad had us kids do it because, long story short, he tried to bypass his way through dial-up by going ahead and trying to screw over AT&T, and it just did not work.
Uh-oh.
This was in the age of dial-up, people. Okay, in the year 2000. But no, Funkmaster General, you good sir are a mad lad, and you know what? We're glad to have you here. Try to keep the lights on out here because it's a miracle that we're still on the air after all these episodes, ranting our way through.
I'm
Just
glad you
topic
said
after
miracle.
Topic after topic.
Speaking of miracle, what we got to tell you guys, it actually is very miraculous, this story. I mean, it's a crazy story, but it's kind of like a feel-good story. So coming to you from the New York Post, miracle in the Bronx, after gas explosion blows through NYC apartment building, send bricks flying to the street. My husband actually came in and told me about this morning. A massive gas explosion blew a huge chunk out of a Bronx public housing building Wednesday morning, sending bricks raining down onto the sidewalk and leaving a gaping hole in the facade. The 8:10 a.m. blast at the high-rise at the Mitchell Houses project on Alexander Avenue, who is not, they've had their problems in the past, and we'll talk about that in a minute, near East 135th Street, left a 20-story gash Look at this picture. I mean, it's insane. 20-story gash along a corner of the building and sent firefighters scrambling to the scene, officials said. Quote, I heard like the building was moving. Like resident Merlino Olivio, 51, told the Post. I heard like a boom. I thought, what is it? Is it an earthquake or something like that? But it started shaking quick. Tenant Linda Duke, now this is crazy, 79, said she fled down 5 flights of stairs with the help of a younger resident who carried her on his back. So shout out to that resident for saving this woman, because that's insane. You want to know how loud it is? Get a firecracker and light it and listen, Duke said. I heard people hollering. All I could see is smoke. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see nothing. You couldn't see SHID. No injuries were reported after first responders sifted through the rubble and brought in FDNY dogs to look for survivors, officials said. But we are extremely fortunate, Mayor Eric Adams said during a press briefing at the scene. At this time, we have no loss of life or injuries. No injuries. I mean, the loss of life, that's incredible. But like the injuries, like nobody was hurt, is insane. And right below, like I saw a picture of the area right where the rubble fell down from 20 stories up. That's a 20-story building. Was basketball courts right there where all the rubble is right now. Basketball courts and children's playground. And it not to mention, it's a huge area, like with all these other projects around it. And all these people constantly moving in and out. And 8 a.m., it's like a bustling time. People are, walking around doing things, going to work, whatever. So the fact that nobody was hurt is a miracle. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, like I was telling you guys before, this was a NYCHA building. This is a NYCHA building. And they do their structural integrity and their different inspections and things annually. So they just did one recently. So I don't even know how this place could have passed inspection. So that's one. And something like this exact thing happened to the exact same projects back in 2021. There was trash duct fire inside the Mitchell houses in the South Bronx in 2021. So this kind of thing has already happened before, where they had an issue, an explosion, and a couple of years, 4 years later, the same kind of thing is happening again. So you can just, I mean, we all know that these houses are terrible. I mean, they're always having problems, rodents, roaches, infestation, and that's the small part of it. Sometimes they don't have heat. That's why they have a lot of people have like those space heaters. Those go on fire. That's been a huge problem, like because the heaters break often. Broken elevators, and as I said, these are 20-story buildings. So you can imagine if it's like an elderly person that lives higher up and it's broken, they can't get down the stairs. I've had people call me at work. I work for the medical industry, telling me they can't come to their doctor's appointment because they can't get out of their house. They can't walk down the stairs because they're like an elderly person with a cane or whatever, because the elevator's been broken for like a week or two and nobody's fixing it. So this is a constant problem. Right now they're checking for structural integrity. It seems to be intact. It seems like it was just like a clean break and it was on the side. It didn't affect anybody's places, but of course they evacuated the whole thing. They kind of shut everything off, but they have to make sure that it's safe for people to go back there. And again, 20 stories, 10 or 15 apartments going across. I don't know. I'm like guessing on that, but they're huge buildings and there's a lot of people in there. So where are these people going to stay? And can they go back home? But again, it's a miracle. I can't even believe that nobody got hurt. It's insane.
Oh, absolutely. Do not be mistaken. This is a miracle in and of itself, a miracle of God, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Amen.
First question I have is, who owns that apartment complex?
Some guy named Mitchell. No, it's it's public housing. So they're the city basically pays for it.
The government passed itself.
More government programs that aren't working. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh my God. It's like we haven't learned from the fact that the most permanent thing that the government can ever enact is a temporary program.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. It's like, we haven't learned yet.
It's
And
such
no,
a
I'm
mess
not gonna
too
do my
because
Karen.
people. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What are you not going to do? Your Karen impression?
All I was gonna say is I'm not gonna do my Karen impression yet because that is strictly reserved for any Karen out of Oregon.
Oh, I don't know why I thought you were going to say any Karen out of orbit. Funk said I used to deliver TVs in the Bronx. Most of the projects aren't worthy of passing inspection. Yeah, like a lot of them need to just be bulldozed and
Demoed?
probably not rebuilt. They're a mess. And you know what's crazy too? I get calls a lot of the times because these people that live in there, they're getting subsidized by the government. Their rent's being paid and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to move because let's say they have a rat infestation or they're old and they need to get to a lower floor so they don't have to worry about issues with the elevator and stuff like that, they need to get a doctor's note saying all of their medical conditions and reasons why the housing department needs to transfer them to a newer apartment. Or if their child has some kind of disability or something like that, they need. And I'm just sitting here going like, God, like I know you guys are like in bed, like really knee deep into getting everything in your life subsidized, but like, yo, this is the way you want to live, where you can't even just say I'm gonna put some money aside because I'm working for it and I'm gonna move out of this rat hole and get something nice for my family or for myself. But you just want to be beholden to the government. Like it's so insane. Like some of them even say like they'll say something about the insurance. Why does the insurance ask me to get a referral? Why can't I just go to any doctor I want? Why can't I get the medication that I want? Why are they making me like a generic? And I literally tell them, I'm like, because the government is paying for this insurance. You have Medicaid. So they can dictate to you how you can get your health care. If you were paying for your insurance, you would have the ability to dictate certain things. But because they're paying for it, they can switch up on you at any moment. And I know it's not going to make a big difference, but I try to just tell as many people in kind of like a side way, however sneaky that sounds. But I just want them to understand life can be better than what you're dealing with right now. You're just being told that this is like a
All
right.
it takes. Well, first and foremost, I hope you, of all people, know the difference between a positive right and a negative right. Do you?
Tell me about it.
What is the difference?
Between a positive right and a negative
No,
right?
do you know
I
the
don't know. Like what do you mean? Like
So,
our rights to bear arms, our right to free speech versus a right to have a doctor do whatever to you. Yeah.
No. Let me explain a little. A positive right says that you are entitled to something. Okay? In this case, we'll use the Second Amendment because I wish this were technically the case, but not really. The Second Amendment says for the security of a free state, let me back up. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Okay? In that amendment, are you entitled to anything? Does that amendment entitle you to anything relating to arms?
That you're able to protect yourself.
No. It is the fact that you are not entitled to any arms, especially from the government. However,
for Congress, like them to give it to you. Yeah.
Can make no law to infringe on your ability to provide a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state.
Okay, so I see where you're going. The Constitution is basically to push the government back off of our necks. This is for them not to.
There you go.
I got it. I understand what you're saying. Okay.
And now, let's go one step further and tie this into the New York Miracle. You're saying that people believe that it is a human right to have food, a human right to have water, a human right to have shelter, a human right to health insurance, because healthcare is a human right. Healthcare is a human right. In the words of Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, and then they get Medicaid, and then so many people have Medicaid, and so many people call up just because they have a runny nose and they want to come in and see the doctor and get medication and get rid of it instead of just going to take care of it themselves, like here and there. They run, and then they wonder why there's no appointments, and then they still demand, I have insurance. That's my doctor. I should be able to see my doctor whenever I please. And I'm like, sorry, your doctor's not available until December. You know, and so they, even though they already have this socialist program working in their favor, giving them free healthcare, they still demand more. They want everything and on a silver platter. So it never stops.
Because
you give them an inch, they
greedy.
take a mile. Yeah. Anyhow.
Well, I can think of a few miles of things that they can go ahead and eat, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a gut feeling. I have a gut feeling that once Mad Monty gets elected and goes ahead and just turns New York City into a communist hellscape, that all the businesses are just going to be pushed away. They're just going to be repulsed away from New York City because it's a complete shithole.
Yeah,
But
and when all the landlords have
apparently,
to sell
there's-
their places and all that stuff, and everybody will be in public housing, like these NYCHA buildings that are falling apart. Be great.
Because Mad Monty wants to build communes. But like I was saying earlier, they're going to push everything away. Like, just push everybody and everything away from New York City. Apparently, somebody or something went ahead and heard everything I just said and said, hold my beer, because we're going to start pushing away stars. Legitimate stars in space. Because, quote, a great wave is rippling through our galaxy, pushing thousands of stars out of place. A giant, quote, wave is rippling through the Milky Way, pushing thousands of stars across the galaxy, and scientists don't know what triggered it. Oh, God. Is the North Star no longer going to be true north?
No!
Oh,
The North
God,
Star is
no,
probably like
no.
some planet somewhere.
That would not surprise me. A huge wave is rippling through our galaxy, pushing billions of stars in its wake, a new study reveals. The Milky Way's galactic wave was spotted in mapping data from the European Space Agency's Gaia Space Telescope, which charted the positions and movement patterns of millions of stars with high accuracy before retiring this year. Aww. Like ripples in a pond, a wave has a very large influence. It affects stars between 30,000 and 65,000 light years away from the galaxy's center, ESA officials said in a statement. That's still too close for comfort when we're dealing with Russia. That's a large percentage of the Milky Way, which is roughly 100,000 light years across. There's a Yo Mama joke in there somewhere, but I'm not finding it. Astronomers still don't know what started the motion. It could have been a past collision with a smaller dwarf galaxy that caused the large shake, ESA officials said, but more investigation is required to answer that question. The results were published July 14th in the journal Astronomy and Astrophysics. Mapping the wave. Gaia mapped the speeds and motions of stars for nearly a dozen years. In 2020, the telescope observed that the disk of the Milky Way wobbles like a spinning top. The newfound wave was started by
Navasa.
only the movement and position. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Okay, there you go. Your mic was kind of going out a little bit. You sounded like you were 1,000 light years away. But now it seems to be
I'd
fixed.
walk 1,000 light years. I'd walk 1,000 more. Officials likened the galactic wave to, quote, the wave done by a crowd at a stadium. Hey, speaking of stadiums, watch Roma Sports tonight at 10:30 Eastern.
Meow.
In a
Hey,
group
Yankees won, by the way. Sorry.
Yes, they did, and I'm terrified of the next game. In a
Sorry.
group movement starting from one side of the stadium and moving section by section to the other side. Individuals rise from their seats, fully stand up with their arms extended, and then sit back down.
Visuals.
Now just imagine that at Yo Mama size. Intergalactic.
Yeah. All right. Well,
a similar type of wave motion is visible when our galaxy is observed edge on. Goddamn phrasing. Such vertical motions represented by arrows show ripples of movement far across the Milky Way's disk. Oh, God, why did that take so long to read? Like,
there's all
I'm
these
the
like
science guy, and even
acronyms,
I found
numbers.
it boring.
It seems like they kept saying the same things over and over again just to make like a full article.
Well,
That
yeah,
or the
90%
Andromeda
of
galaxy
science
is
is
that big.
fluff.
Mhm.
Andromeda.
This isn't really in context, but your mom is so fat her butt needs its own zip code. Tell us you grew
Funkmaster?
up in the 90s without telling us you grew up
hold
in
on.
the 90s.
At that point, it's not the fact that Yo Mama needs her own zip code. It's the fact that each cheek is on the dark side of the moon.
Well, that's because she heard that her man had you know what in different area codes, so she figured if she could span some codes, she could be enough woman for him. I don't know. Sorry. This is what happens to me on my face. All right. Enough fooling around. We got more foolery to do.
Hold on.
What?
No, hold on. Before we go any further.
Go.
Yo Mama's so dumb, she doesn't know how to write this. Caption this.
Oh, caption this time. Nice bump. All right, so we got an AI generated image for you folks. Navasa, don't choke. Arms up, hands up, baby hands up.
Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot.
This is the caption this portion of the show. The end of every Sunset Rants, we have this game, caption this, and we have an AI generated photo for you. We ask you, the audience, to please participate. Give us a funny caption, and then Navasa and I will vote on the funniest one at the end. So, take it away. What you got?
I've already got my answer. The only thing that's missing is the messed up green screen.
This is a really cool photo.
Oh, it's cool. And not only is it cool, it is halfway believable. Especially if you realize that it is almost properly scaled for the terrifyingly named Megalodon, also known as the Megalodon. It took you a sec, but you got it.
I think I've been quicker. I think I've been hanging out with all of you guys enough now that I'm catching things a lot quicker than I used to.
That means that we just have to tell Gargi that we're doing a better job at corrupting you than he is.
He tries. He can hang out with all of you guys a lot easier.
Hardy, no! Hardy, no!
Oh, I'm like, what are you looking at? Hey!
Hardy!
Get off my lawn, hippie. That's great. Mm-hmm. Iris says the MiG and the MOA. Nice. We got a submission from AK in the Rumble chat. Unkbu died in an unfortunate surfing Unkbu. An unfortunate surfing accident. Should have had farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. Bum, but I'm bum. We are farmers. Oh my god, I am such a sucker for a jingle. It will get stuck in my head all day. I can't. It's like in Demolition Man, like where they got rid of all music and everything was a jingle. I'd be okay with that.
It's funny you say that because for about the last week or two, I've had Fiddler on the Roof stuck in my head. Specifically that song, If I Were a Rich Man. Because I accidentally stumbled across somebody animating Patrick Starr singing that song. Like they animated it, Patrick Starr and all in character. If I were a rich man, little, 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 little. And it's been that way since.
Do you know what's so crazy? I actually never seen like Fiddler on the Roof. Like I've heard of it obviously and like heard different things, but I always forget that song is from there. And then thinking about how it was remixed, if I was a rich girl, is just so insane that they took that song. But Rick says, "Get out of my ocean, fishy."
So the first thing that came to my mind when I saw that caption this was Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Wait, was it Shark Boy? I might have fucked myself up.
I haven't seen that. Play ocean games, win ocean prizes.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Touche. That's got layers.
I still like Hardy's "Get Off My Lawn, Hippie." That was hysterical.
Oh, absolutely.
Although AK's Boo is pretty funny. It's hard. I always forget you have guys. Just so you know, I'm not intentionally stepping all over Navasa's words. He's got like a smidge of a delay, and I keep forgetting because I can't shut up. Sorry.
Oh, don't worry. You're just ranting over your soapbox.
I am. The whole table's shaking. Yeah, we do. All right, so what are we choosing? What are we going with?
Oh no, is it the? Oh no, are you having yourself a Filipino earthquake?
I am. A 5-pointer.
Oh no. I want to
my
make
tectonic plates are definitely
it's just
shaking.
Not there.
A Sharknado? I've never seen that movie either.
If your tectonic plates are shaking, that means that we have to tell Gargi it's time. Oh!
I'm waiting for that 25%. Well, wait. Dougie says sweep squeak Sharknado. All right. Wait. All right. So we're running low on time, so we gotta pick one. I'm going with Hardy's "Get Off My Lawn, Hippie." I think that's the best one. That's hysterical.
It's only made better if you think about it as "Get off my hippie lawn."
Especially since our alleged actual producer, his tagline is "Get off my lawn." I think it's perfect.
Oh, absolutely. You play to the cards, R. Hardy. Now take your prize and surf the way out.
Yes, congratulations, Hardy. Awesome. And thank you, all of you guys, for always hanging out with us.
He got the reference!
Wait,
Hardy
what?
got the reference! Yes!
My surfer had a first name. It's Oscar. Oscar.
That's from Shark Tale. But no.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much as always for hanging out with us and joining us on Sunset Rants. Of course, stay tuned after this show. Go get yourself something to drink. Use the facilities. Get some popcorn, whatever, because you have Roma Sports starting in just 30 minutes. Same place. place here.
Oh,
Rumble, X, YouTube, join in because they got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on in sports, and stuff's heating
go
up.
get that popcorn. Go get the popcorn ready because it's MLB playoff season right here, right now. Yanks won. We've got 3 of the 4 wild card series going to game 3. I pray to God we don't get a 4th because I'm a Dodger, and I don't want that. I don't want a game 3, damn it. But yes, follow us at Real AK Roma or Roma Real AK, whichever one that is.
The Real Roma _AK. Yep.
Thank you. Follow Biddy at Elizabeth213A. Follow me at Lord Navasa on Twitter. Go to riseofmiddleamerica.com. We need producers. We need talent. You want to start a show? We'll help you get it off the floor. Go to riseofmiddleamerica.com and get yourself some Roma merch. It's Halloween season. It's spooky season. We are going to spook the ever-living crap out of you with our awesome spooky merch, especially Ohio Man.
And like, comment, subscribe, and share this show with your friends. We're only 16 subs away from hitting that 1K mark. Come on, guys. It only takes 1 click. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to us. So please do that for this. We would be greatly appreciative. Love you guys so much. Have a happy Wednesday, and have a great night. Bye.
Hope your hump day was great. Slide into the weekend. Bye.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.